Hello and welcome to our playthrough of Snatcher. This is actually a remake of the 1988 original, which was on the MSX and PC 88, and that was actually Hideo Kojima's first game that he made from the ground up. Metal Gear was actually given to him by Konami as a project that the original team that worked on it actually stopped in the middle, and Kojima had to pick up the pieces of sort of the failed project of Metal Gear and make it his own, and that's what became Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid. Snatcher was more Kojima wanted a lot of creative control, and he gravitated towards the adventure genre for that reason. This story is dedicated to all those cyberpunks who fight against injustice and corruption every day of their lives.
June 6, 1996. A mysterious explosion destroys the Chernobyl research facility near Moscow. Lucifer Alpha, a powerful biological weapon under secret development there, is released into the atmosphere. Lucifer Alpha spreads throughout Eastern Europe and Eurasia, destroying 80% of the populace. Half of the world's people die. The greatest biohazard in history later becomes known simply as the catastrophe. But at this time, who could have possibly imagined that the ultimate biohazard wouldn't occur for another half-century? 50 years later, mankind faces its greatest crisis, the appearance of a mysterious android life form. Its purpose and origin are unknown. They appear during winter, killing humans and infiltrating society by taking the place of their victims. Employing an artificial skin, they can sweat and even bleed. Part organic, part machine, they're almost impossible to distinguish from those they kill. As they steal their victims' bodies in order to take their place, these mysterious invaders become known as Snatchers.
Snatcher. There you go. So that's you can already see that they're trying to sort of make a playable movie, a playable sci-fi movie. So yeah, I mean, that concept, of course, would be refined with Police Knots and then perfected, really, with Metal Gear Solid.
How was work? Everything okay?
Gillian, what is it? What's wrong?
Jamie, I've become a junker.
A junker? Gillian, but why?
Jamie, you know why. It's the only way we can regain our lost memories. Snatcher is the only word that keeps coming back every time we try to remember our past.
The way this game sort of works is in a lot of, pretty much in every area that you go in, you can either look or investigate. And that's just the foundation of the detective stuff. So as far as I can tell, look is like using your naked eye, and investigate is sort of like analyze. But it's really sort of context sensitive, and these things kind of change what they mean. So that's just the fast and loose way of understanding it, right? But this game is full of little details if you take the time and look around. Let's look at the poster. It's just a junker recruiting ad. That reminds me of the posters in Phantom Pain, you see on the wall, like the recruitment ads. Yeah, you can't throw a rock without hitting something that has relevance to another Kojima game in this game. There are a lot of ideas that, started here that they really fleshed out in like Metal Gear Solid. And one, right out of the gate, I can say this. You know how in Metal Gear Solid, sometimes you'll use the codec, and you'll find if you call like 2, 3, 4, 5 times, that you keep getting new information. It's like secrets that are like buried in the game. That started with Snatcher. Snatcher is the exact same way, because it doesn't tell you when there's new information or not. You just have to, try it, basically. So there's all sorts of little things you can miss. And that, even going all the way to Phantom Pain, that's how Kojima's games were designed. Like, when I play Phantom Pain today, there are still codec calls that that are situational that I didn't use before or notice before, and I use them, and when you find them, it's like, it's an amazing feeling. So yeah, you're basically a Blade Runner. If you remember from that film, Deckard was a Blade Runner, and those were basically detectives tasked with hunting down and retiring, aka eliminating replicants or fake humans. A Junker's job is to figure out who the Snatchers are and to eliminate them. I want you to put your special training in the military to good use and investigate those points about Snatchers that we don't yet understand. We've got to put a stop to them. So that is your main objective in this game. This is engineering. All the Junkers, that is the runner's equipment, is made here. Doesn't look like Harry's around at the moment. So this is sort of actually a nod to a game that was in an influence on Snatcher, which was called Jesus. And in the beginning of that game, which is set on a space station called Jesus, the person that you have to talk to just isn't there, and you have to go in like every room of the space station before, like in this cryptic way, before the game will have him show up. So Jean-Jacques Gibson is sort of like the gray fox in the story. He's like our senpai, like the number one guy at our agency, and this is like our first day. It's very similar to the setup in Metal Gear.
Metal, introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Pleased to meet you, Gillian. I am Metal Gear Mach 2. I am programmed to be your personal assistant.
Metal Gear? That's a pretty weird name.
Oh, he's cute.
Thank you.
Junker HQ, this is Gibson. I've cornered a probable male Snatcher. I'm in the abandoned factory in the M District. Request immediate backup.
The sky's getting quite dark. It looks like a storm may be coming in. Now this whole section reminds me a lot of Ground Zeroes. Not only because of the storm, but as we'll see, it's sort of, we're going to go into this decrepit, like, boiler room looking ass place, sort of like in Ground Zeroes. Alright, so you see those blinking red lights in the distance? That's like a motif that would reoccur. I think that even in Death Stranding they have that. It's a signature of Kojima's games, weirdly enough. Yeah, that's really hot. I'm gonna have a blister there. Be careful, the surface is hot due to steam within. You know, MGS2 has those the pipes you can shoot with the boiling hot steam in it, right? Holy shit.
Oh.
Dear God.
Oh, I love this game. John! Gibson! It's Gibson! My god, his head's been twisted completely off.
The results of the analysis strongly suggest that the strand of hair was pulled from the scalp of Jean's attacker during their struggle. This strand of hair almost certainly came from a male European, blood type A negative Snatcher. The results of the analysis strongly suggest that the tissue sample, a cluster of skin cells, was scraped from the subject during a struggle with Jean. These skin cells almost certainly came from a female European, blood type O negative Snatcher. An analysis of Jean's stomach reveals a major lesion on the caloric region of the gastric membrane.
So, Jean had an ulcer, huh?
Yes. In addition, I read a substantial quantity of partially digested organic compounds.
Organic compounds. If you can determine the composition and the degree to which the food's been digested, we may be able to figure out where Jean's been. Buffalo meat?
Yes, buffalo meat. The results indicate that Jean ate buffalo meat somewhere about 3 hours before he was killed.
The key. What's this key for? I don't know of anywhere where old keys like this are still used. Look. Key. This item is quite an antique. Metal, hang on to this key as evidence, okay? Alright, I'll store it. Scrap of paper. Search the house. What is that supposed to mean? What is that?
Whoa!
Time bomb!
Now activating first aid systems. I'll stop the bleeding. Thanks, Metal. Blood flow stopped. Disinfection completed. Now injecting Junker's blood, fluid supplement, and painkillers. Finally, some nanomachines, healing agents. Youch. Ooh, that should be sufficient for the time being. That was close. Gotta be more careful. Isn't that cool?
We're getting out of here!
Sorry, I cannot go with you!
What's wrong with you? Hurry it up!
I am incapable of locomotion!
What on earth are you blabbering about? Let's go! It's gonna blow!
Please save yourself! I am paralyzed with fear!
Oh, I can't believe this stupid robot! Come on!
Oh, God! Oh, my God. It's so fucking loud. Kojima, you troll. You absolute troll.
Jeez, my ears are really ringing.
That's because you left the volume turned up.
Damn snatchers.
Oh, Seed? Yes? How's that wound doing? I have already injected him with nanomachines. They will have him back to full strength in no time. I see. Hang in there, Seed. Thank you very much, Chief. So it's kind of fun because, you know, in Phantom Pain, it's set in the past, but it has, like, technology from the future, so to speak. And in this game, we're set in the future, but we have technology from the past. Okay. Possessions. Use. Key. Alright, I will try the key. There's something in the drawer. Capsules. And a disc. If you had played Snatcher back on the PC-88 or the MSX, it came in floppy disks that you had to, like, swap out, basically. So yeah, that's another fourth wall break, which we'll actually see that Sean J. Gibson owned they call it a PC-68, but, you know, it's very similar to the PC-88 that on the original version of the game, you know, you'd be using to play the game. So,
Oh, is that you, Gillian? I was just getting to sleep.
So Jamie here, she was actually going to be the protagonist in Kojima's first game, which was going to be called Lost World. And the whole thing was going to take place on a cruiser, kind of like the Titanic. And it was going to be, but I think that's all that we know about it, because it was just in an old back issue of one of those, I guess like MSX magazines or something that Kojima was talking about it. So let's wait for that ad for Plato's Cavern to show back up. In the original game, it was not Plato's Cavern, it was called Joy Division, but obviously for copyright issues, or for copyright reasons, they changed it. Alright, let's wait for it. And I guess it's that 106, isn't that the famous Shibuya 106 building? I may not know what the hell I'm talking about. I think that's a famous building. But obviously this is supposed to be... I mean, Kobe is a real place in Japan. Neo Kobe... oh, here it is. Ask about location. Where is Plato's Cavern located? We're located on 5th Street in the Sanomaya K district. Everything in that area is part of our organization. Okay. Cool. Thanks. I look forward to serving you. Alright, that'll be a location I can visit. Okay, don't call. Which I guess is supposed to be Akihabara? I'm not entirely sure. Alright, let's look for wait. Let's look for Napoleon.
Well, so, you're the new junker, eh?
You Napoleon?
Well, let's keep this short, okay? The Snatcher sees me here, and I'll be the next one eliminated.
Alright, let's take a look at this guy. He's called Napoleon, but he's ethnic Chinese. I am not touching that one. Did you notice anything unusual about Gibson lately? Who knows? I didn't hear much from him for a while. Go on. He said he'd found something big about Snatchers, but he didn't tell me what it was. Okay. Knowing Gibson, he probably found out something really important. What about the buffalo cuisine? Gibson ate buffalo somewhere just before he was killed. Any ideas? Follow his trail and use a little intuition.
I'm very sorry about all of that. I'm Katrina Gibson, Sean's daughter.
Now, I don't know, I love the vibe in here. In his adventure games, like, there's just a sort of sense of presence to a lot of the areas that you visit, and it makes you want to replay the games just so I can go back and almost inhabit those spaces just for a little while longer. The computer. It has a 5-inch disk drive installed. Huh? 5-inch, huh? Well, then that disk must be for this machine. Look closely, the pattern matches the read-write holes on the disk. He even drew a little dot to represent the index hole. Okay. It's that theme from MGS2, you know, of like, reality's not always what you think it is and all that kind of stuff. In other words, it meant to put the disc in the PC-68 at his house. No doubt John was worried that something might happen to him, and he prepared the disc for just such an emergency. Alright, let's see what it has.
Snatcher investigation file. Why does Snatchers appear in the winter? Why are Snatchers nocturnal? I believe I have found the answer to these questions. The reason they dislike sunlight is because of their defective artificial skin. These conclusions suggest several useful methods for locating and identifying Snatchers. 3. The presence of pollen. Snatchers are believed to hide in areas plentiful in Snow 9, a snow-like bioengineered pollen crystal. 4. Possession of sunscreen. In addition, besides working to prevent this skin cancer, Snatchers maintain facilities for treating artificial skin which has actually become cancerous. I have succeeded in identifying the hospital where this is performed. P.S. Watch out for a bounty hunter named Random Hajil.
And no doubt John was killed because they learned that he had found their hospital. Okay. Good dog, good girl, Alice. What's the matter? Oh.
What? Ah, it's just a crow.
Stupid bird.
Again, reality is not always what it seems. That's the logo for Plato's Cavern, yeah, but... Is it my imagination, or does that look something like the Konami logo? They're all probably under the same management.
All right, let's try one of these floating pizza things.
Sounds good to me.
Give us 2 regular Neo Kobe pizzas.
2 coming up. You gotta put it in the soup yourself, okay?
Come on up, little fellas.
Hey, here comes one. Oh, that's mine. Come here, you.
Nice snag there, Metal. Hey, where's mine?
Oh, this is unusual.
Oh.
I wonder what the problem is.
I want my pizza. Where's my pizza?
What's the problem? Yours not coming back up?
My pizza?
Hey, really sorry about that. Happens every now and then. You'll forgive us there, won't you now, buddy?
Gillian, perhaps we should go.
My Neo Kobe pizza. It sank just like the rest of this city's gonna.
Let's get going, Gillian.
I can't believe that. I'll never waste my money on one of those stupid things again.
Yeah, we saw that here. The world's getting weirder all the time. This stuff is selling really good in the middle of the winter. Oh. The other day we had this Chinese doctor in here. He bought out our whole stock of it. How about that Chinese doctor? A little guy with a beard, maybe? He was in here with some guy who looked Jewish. They bought him all, a whole box of them. You don't say. Ask. Anything more? Maybe they're starting their own business. That's very funny. Mask. Oh, they have massive Egyptian mummies and those Easter Island faces as well. They seem to be very well made. You've got an eye for fine art, my friend. Those are our pride and joy, our special full-face masks. I'm afraid that's all we have left. Our store features a full range of buying and selling services with absolutely no identification required. It's sort of like a haven, you know, like in MGS4. As such, there are no official records of your transactions. Thank you very much. 1 mummy mask coming up. That'll be 2,000 credits, please. Investigate, Barker. Hey, what do you think you're doing? It's an extensive makeup job. This doesn't come off easily. Not in the same league as my mask, eh? Everyone is dressed as a character from the classic late 20th century video game. The people who run this place must really be into old-time nostalgia. So yeah, in case it wasn't obvious, I think everybody here is a Konami character. Investigate manager. Would you mind if I check this out? Do you mind? That's really disturbing. He seems to be built quite well. Okay, that's not what I meant. Okay. I guess in a way, when you start MGS3, you're sort of wearing, it looks like the Fly, right? Your mask. So, all right, ask. Hi. So, I'm gonna go ahead and show you my Junker ID. What? Oh, shit. I thought that I could show her the... Okay. You've already called her. This appears to be the logo of the Moscow Olympics. Oh, the Moscow Olympics. They mentioned that, I think, in Phantom Pain. Wait a minute, the last time the Olympics were in Moscow was way back in, well, before the catastrophe, at the end of the last century, wasn't it? This photograph appears to be a composite. What? What? Composite? You mean somebody made it? It seems unnatural somehow. 30 years ago, composite, and at the Moscow Olympics on top of that. Perhaps this has something to do with her past. Why would anybody want to make a composite photo? I don't understand. Please take good care of that picture. Alright, so this entire thing you can miss, which is pretty cool. Ah, that's much better. Oh my, Gillian, according to the HealthPot TM system, what? What's it say? You are a healthy guy. Wow! What's wrong? The nanomachines I injected in you, what happened? They go sailing right on through? What a waste. Those things are very expensive, you know. Hey, what can you do? What goes in must come out. Ah, ignorance truly is bliss. What? What do you mean? What did you put in the nanomachines? His activities. I've only been here for a month, so I don't know anything about what happened before that. Okay, ask about that man, his description. To try to remember his distinguishing characteristics. Gillian, keep the description in mind. Afterwards, we can use it to put together a montage. 2 possible matches for montage photograph located.
I'm no cop, I'm a junker. I couldn't care less if you're a buyer, a pusher, or what. What I want to know is if you're a snatcher or human.
Gillian, Ivan's skin is healthy. There is no way he could be a snatcher and tan like that without developing melanoma.
Look, you can see your reflection in the mirror. Geez, I've always been such a handsome devil. Look. Shelf? Wait a minute, haven't we seen that bottle someplace before? Look. Bottle. What's this? That's the same container as the one we found at Jean's. Well, what do you know? Look at the bottle. It looks just like the one we found at Jean's house. Investigate the bottle. Alright, I will analyze the contents of the bottle. There's no mistake. This is sunscreen. Sunscreen in the middle of the winter, eh? And it looks like it's been used recently, too.
There's no mistake. Freddie Nielsen is a snatcher. Gillian, with this much evidence, there will be no difficulty getting a scanning warrant.
We've got you now, snatcher scum.
So, you figured it out, huh?
Who's that?
Know all about us, do you, junker?
Oh.
That wound.
Jean did that to her.
Die, junker!
Oh, hell no.
I certainly hope it's dead.
Wow. So obviously, in case it wasn't clear, you know, the whole theme here is like, looks can be deceiving. This is Freddy's bathroom.
Huh? The bathtub is empty. That thing was filled with water just a few minutes ago.
What?
I read motion. This room!
Damn! Where is he?
Oh, shit.
Gillian, behind you!
Shit. Shit. Okay. Did I get him? I've had it? Gillian, I died? Nope.
You're lucky I was here to save your skin.
Bounty hunter?
Yes, Gillian, a bounty hunter. That's confirmed. I officially recognize you as a legal bounty hunter.
There's a lot to say about Random Hajil. He's an important character, and I can't say much about him yet, though, because I don't want to spoil. But I can point out that he wears a very similar outfit to Venom Snake in Phantom Pain. At least I think so. Like the sneaking suit, don't you guys think so? He's actually, I'm pretty sure, based on Sting from David Lynch's Dune. Would you like to save your investigation up to this point? Act 2. Here.
About time you got here, Gillian. I've got Little John's memory all ready for you.
Let's show Harry the video memory from Little John. Just don't jump to any funny conclusions. Keep your mind open to every possibility. Yeah, I mean, in case it wasn't obvious, like this is a theme that almost every Kojima game really hits on, or at least all the Metal Gear Solid games did for sure, which is that, you know, reality is only as real as your brain tells you it is. And what they do with this whole hospital scenario is just sort of like an early forerunner to a lot of that. So. Oh, that's Jamie. Oh gosh, it kind of looks like the Die Hardman mask a little when you and you know not to spoil, but if you played Death Stranding, you probably know what I'm thinking of right now. All right, my God, a Snatcher.
Bet I surprised you, huh?
Interested in love, huh? Yeah, that's right. Very interested, if you know what I mean. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. You want love, don't you? Yeah, love, love. Do you know where I can get some? Sure, baby, I know where you can get some. The question is, how bad do you want it? I want it real bad. How bad is bad? Let me put it this way. If I was a cat, I'd be cleaning myself. Oh, that's foul. It's fucked. What the hell? Well, damn. Talk your feelings. Harry, do you think I can really make it as a junker? The chief and I know a good kid when we see one. You'll do just fine. He's nice. All right, can we use the video phone in here? Yes, we can. This is Snatcher 911. Wow, man. It's like in GTA 4. Again, GTA 4 obviously implemented it with in a much more high-tech way that was way more realized. But like, think about this. This game came out in 1994. This is Miss Hayasaka at Konami. Thanks for your continued support. Oh my God. Oh man, this is awesome. Finally, Konami's famous Snatcher will be released worldwide. We're so happy that Konami fans and fanatics will now be able to play this game. Although the characters in this game are all fictitious, after playing the game, I really felt that I knew the characters as real people. Also, this is the first game I've ever played that continually gave me strong feelings, just like watching a great movie. Many such promotional Santa Clauses appear this time of the year. That's true, but that one, if it bothers you that much, why don't we investigate him? Okay, investigate Santa Claus. Let's check out the Santa. Let's go.
Wait a minute, you're no Santa.
How'd you guess?
What are you doing in that outfit?
What are you talking about? Ugh,
Jeez.
I'm quitting this job. It's too dangerous.
It's a traditional Santa Claus costume. Look, Napoleon. A Chinese Santa, eh? Somehow you just don't fit the image. Okay. Well, I'm so sorry to disappoint you. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm looking for a hospital with this sign. Well, it's not the one for this place. Looks kind of similar, though. There you
Snatchers
go.
cannot tolerate dogs. It is improbable that this is their skin cancer treatment center.
Looks like we barked up the wrong tree here. So, now we're back to square one, huh?
Gillian, I'm glad I got you. I got a call from Katrina. She said she has something she needs to give you.
Something to give me? What in the world?
Gillian, I read motion. Use extreme caution. The signal is coming from outside the window.
It's Alice!
The dog is dead. Body temperature suggests it was killed about 10 minutes ago. I'll open the blinds by altering the electrical polarity. Are you ready?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Now opening the blinds.
Whoa!
Katrina, maybe you should get some clothes on. I just took a shower. I'm a little hot. I'd like to stay like this. Okay, great. No, I'm not going to investigate the bath towel. Talk about Alice. It's about Alice. What's wrong with her? You see, Alice is... Gillian. What's wrong? Forget it. I'll tell you later. You're weird. No. No, I don't. This is a minefield everywhere I look. No. Talk. Katrina. Katrina, I really can loan you some of my clothes. I might take you up on that in a few minutes. No, you're just fine the way you are. I am not touching that. About Alice. Alice is a fine dog, isn't she? She's my only family now. Okay. That's right, when I was straightening up the living room, I found this inside that model of our house. What? What is it? Please save me from this. Oh yeah, there was a model of Gibson's house on the shelf, wasn't there? It's a list of hospitals. It appears to be a list of illicit medical facilities. It lists the name of the hospital, its director's name, its address, and area of specialty. Well then, the Snatcher's place, the one that Gibson found, must be on this list. So that's what that search the house note that Gibson left meant. He was just a little too clever this time. Will that list be of any help? This list has over 3,000 places listed on it. We could never hit them all. We need some other information to narrow it down. What about the image from Little John's memory? That should be the key. If you type in the name of the hospital, I'll scan the list for you. Okay. No. The hospital list. Can I take a look at that hospital list? Go ahead, take a look. Look for a clue. Okay, what name does Olene bring to mind? That sign is definitely for that hospital, right? The visual image of Olene is almost certainly correct. It's here, Queen's Hospital. Great, you found it, Gillian. So the neon tube was burned out, eh? And there were more letters to the word than shown in the picture. So Queens looked like Olene. That's what the chess piece was trying to tell us.
What's the address of that hospital?
CX District, PHC 77. The director is Chinese. Name, Chin Shu O.
Chin Shu O. He's probably a snatcher too. So we finally found their nest.
What's a picture like this doing on the wall here? Metal, what is this a photo of? One moment, please. I'll scan my data files. I have a positive ID. It's the Cathedral of St. Basil. It's a famous cathedral that was a Moscow landmark before the catastrophe. St. Basil's Cathedral? Have I heard of that? I can't seem to remember. Come to think of it, there was a map of Moscow on the wall in Freddie Nielsen's apartment, wasn't there? Moscow, eh? What connection do the Snatchers have with Moscow? I've stored this photo in my memory. Okay. Hello? A monitor. It looks like one for a PC. It's a monitor designed for use with a computer. And that? It's a drawer. Let's investigate it.
There seems to be a scrap of paper caught between these two drawers. The others are empty. It appears that someone tried to straighten up in a hurry.
Let me see that paper.
Here it is.
What? What is this? It looks like Chinese or something. Metal translated.
Okay, let's see. Patient record, first examination. I'm not familiar with the next 5 characters. It's the first time I've ever seen any of them.
I thought you were supposed to be really good at Chinese.
My strongest areas are in chop suey, egg foo young, and wontons.
Okay.
Rare Chinese characters. Or maybe some kind of code? At any rate, this is definitely part of someone's chart. If we can figure out these characters, we may be able to uncover another Snatcher.
What do you suppose happened to the other records?
Looks like someone cleaned them out of here. Maybe they knew we were coming.
Somehow I get the feeling that the Snatchers know what we're up to.
These are from Outer Heaven. Outer Heaven seems to be quite a popular spot with our Snatcher friends. That's funny, I'm sure I got the number right. Perhaps the Snatchers have killed Napoleon too. What's this symbol? Of course. It looks vaguely familiar. Where in the world is Napoleon gone? Now I've got it. It's that sneeze. I remember you sneezed just like him. He has hay fever. Well, it's... Achoo. Alright, you win. I've had enough fun for now. I just wanted to play with you for a bit. Nice work, Gillian. You're a first-rate junker. Go on in. So I don't think I have to point out all the Kojima games where there are 2 characters who are actually 1, but... Okay.
Have a seat, Gillian. We're safer in a crowded place like this.
Jeez, you really had me fooled. 2 roles in 1.
Gesundheit. Well, you know, you gotta understand. Being an informer isn't exactly the safest job on the planet, you know. Boy, you really work up a sweat in these full-face masks.
Oh, boy. Maybe you should have left that on.
Well, listen, you want me to tell you why I'm called Napoleon?
Because winter gets the best of you. Napoleon Bonaparte sent his enormous army into Russia in 1812, but suffered a major defeat because of the snow.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, the sneezing isn't a cold. It's my allergy to snow 9 pollen.
You're Chinese, right? That's right.
So that's it. Benson. Beryllium is Be, nitrogen is N, sulfur is S, and oxygen is O. And another N makes Benson. The name Benson was encoded on this file.
Benson. I sure hope it is not referring to the chief, Benson Cunningham.
Or to our friendly engineer, Mr. Harry Benson.
I think I'll lay low for a while. You know, after all, you are my main source of income.
You be careful too, Napoleon. You get killed and you won't be able to sneeze anymore.
What's that supposed to mean?
That's the memo that was in engineering. I thought it was just a picture of the vase. If you reverse the background and the drawing, it's 2 faces, face to face. This must be the face to face that Harry was referring to in his memo. This picture was cleverly designed to take advantage of the human sense of sight. There's a switch between the 2 faces. I'll push it. Okay, obviously this is what I was supposed to find. Hello. The picture flipped over to reveal a photograph. That's Red Square, isn't it? A lot of this is a nod to the fact that the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers was a Cold War, era movie that was loosely about the menace of communism and all that. So the Snatchers are literally body snatchers from Soviet Russia.
Gillian, it's me, Jamie. Listen carefully.
Okay.
You know that Queens Hospital? I found out that they undertook a major expansion project in 2035 to put in a basement. That's right, they have a basement. Basement construction is really unusual here in Neo Kobe. That's why there were still records of it. But there's more. The director of that hospital, Chin Shu Ho, has had his license suspended in the past for performing eugenics experiments at an illicit underground facility.
Are you telling me Queens has underground treatment facilities?
That has to be it, Gillian. Chin Shu Ho is performing skin operations on Snatchers underground.
And that means that Chin himself is also probably a Snatcher. Or rather, the real Chin, the original Chin, was snatched.
So, that entire ground-level complex is just a front for the underground facilities.
And if we hit that hospital, we can ruin the Snatcher's plans. Well, this is it, Metal. We're heading right into the enemy's headquarters this time.
Gillian?
Yeah?
This sounds really dangerous. I just wanted you to know, I want you to come home safe.
Jamie.
The reason I left you is because I thought you were pushing yourself too hard, being self-destructive. And it seemed like the wedding ring you were wearing when they found us had become a tremendous burden on you. I didn't want that to be the only reason we stayed together.
Oh, Jamie, I never felt that way at all.
I'll be waiting for you. We may not have our memories, but you are the only one I've ever shared any time with. Be careful, Gillian.
Jamie.
Are you all right, Gillian?
Yeah. All right, Metal, let's go. We have to pay a visit to Queen's Hospital. Her Majesty is waiting.
Jeez. He's so ridiculously dorky. I love it. That's it, Gillian. Prayer. Look, a new command has appeared on the menu. Oh, the fourth wall breaks. I love it. Hit control panel.
Damn! What else can we do? Metal, start punching buttons.
Any buttons at all?
Yes! Yes! Push anything!
Gillian, this doesn't seem to be doing any good.
Damn, I was sure that would work.
Gillian, the road makes a sharp right turn just 1,500 meters ahead. At this speed, we'll never make it. Gillian! Gillian!
Hey,
Gillian! Huh? Over here! What's that? Gillian, over here! Random! Gillian, you gotta jump over to my bike! Hurry!
800 meters until we reach the curve.
Metal, you go first!
What? Not again.
Move your butt! That curve's just ahead!
Understood. 1, 2, 3!
All right, Gillian, now it's your turn. Keep her steady.
300 meters until you reach the curve.
Gillian, jump! I can't! My timing's off!
150 meters.
Gillian, now!
70 meters.
Now, Gillian, now!
Oh, we're too late!
Okay.
Did I get it?
The Snatcher's functions have been terminated. There's no doubt now that this is their maintenance facility. This one was probably still waiting to get its artificial skin installed.
So this is what they really look like, huh?
Yeah, that's the scariest thing about them. You can't tell them from real people once they've got that skin on.
Perhaps that's humanity's great weakness. We're always judging books by their cover.
And it's just that human weakness that they're out to take advantage of.
Good God!
I read 4 human skeletons in this room.
It's their morgue!
Perhaps victims of the Snatchers?
Well, it doesn't look like whoever put them here was too worried about making sure they would rest in peace.
No, it doesn't. These have got to be their victims.
This is probably where they hide the bodies of the originals they snatch from places like Outer Heaven.
They probably picked Outer Heaven because it gets a lot of VIP traffic. Plus, during masquerade time, they could work the place and still keep their identities secret.
Yeah, and the guy who set up the link between them and Outer Heaven was Freddy, that taxi driver. They must have gone after him not because of who he was, but what he did. After all, with a taxi, there's plenty of chances to milk your customers for information. That's probably how they learned about Outer Heaven and Plato's Cavern.
I've been wondering what they had done with the bodies.
Want to hide a book? What better place than the library? Need to hide a body? How about the morgue?
And for them, keeping the bodies hidden is crucial. I mean, if somebody who's supposed to be dead is out walking the streets, it wouldn't be too hard to figure out that something screwy is going on.
That means that if we can figure out who these bodies were, then we've just nailed 4 Snatchers.
Now adding postulated hair and eye features. Reconstruction of head of final victim completed.
It's the Chief!
What?
The Chief is a Snatcher! The Benson on the scrap of that patient record was Benson Cunningham.
Get them!
My arm! I can't reach my blaster! I'm hit in the leg!
Is that the best you can do, Junker?
Who's there? Jin Shuo, you scum!
It seems you still have some fight left in you. You two are finished, but our plans move forward. We are now entering Phase 2. And when we do, not only this city, but the entire world will be ours to command.
Phase 2? What are you talking about?
As you know, our operations have been hindered up to now by the flaws in our artificial skin. The skin's shortcomings have kept us away from ultraviolet rays, forcing us to do our work at night, underground, or in the winter. In the end, we had to construct a hospital like this, all because of the flaws in our artificial skin. This was the only difference between us and you humans. But now we have broken this barrier.
Huh?
We are on the verge of developing a perfect artificial skin, thanks to the cooperation of a new partner in our plan. Once we have the new skin, nothing will be able to stop us. And with that, our plan moves to phase 2. Our little experiment in this city will end, and we'll move in force to take over the world.
Don't be so sure. You won't get out of the city that easy.
You humans are always so overconfident, so naive.
What are you talking about?
I'm sure you're aware that the Kyoto Summit, being held to decide how to handle the Snatcher problem, opens tomorrow.
Metal, is that right?
Yes. Countries around the world are concerned about the Snatcher problem. It will be one of the main topics discussed at this year's summit.
That's right. Tomorrow, we attack the summit.
You must be crazy. The security there will be incredible. You won't even get close.
Must I explain everything to you, Junker? Aren't you even aware that a fellow Junker will be giving a special presentation at the summit?
The Chief! Cunningham! So that's why you snatched him.
We've known that your chief would be speaking at the summit for over 3 months now.
Gillian, the summit is tomorrow. We have to hurry.
Listen, we have your chief. You Junkers are at our mercy, and so is this city. And tomorrow, we move on the world. Nothing can stop us now. We will finally achieve our long-awaited goal of global domination.
Who is this we you keep talking about?
We? We are an evolved life form, given life in the depths of the Kremlin by our creator, Modnar. We are a new race.
Modnar?
Modnar? The Kremlin? Those names are familiar, but...
Our goal is to snatch all of the world's leaders and then achieve total control of human thought and worldwide racial unification.
You're insane. Humanity won't be so easily dominated. You underestimate the strength of the human spirit.
I think not. In the same way as the Nazis, our strategy begins with the overpowering of the spirit of the people. We will strike at you humans' weakest point, the most primitive part of your psychological makeup, your suspiciousness and fear. By provoking suspicion and mistrust throughout the populace, we will destroy that fragile fabric which holds your society together, that of trust. Fear is you humans' weak point. It is the primitive part of your brains that binds you forever to your animal ancestors and makes you vulnerable. By stimulating that part of your atavistic instincts, our plan can succeed magnificently.
Gillian, at this rate, they'll kill us all. You've got to get out alive. You're a junker.
Just what have you have in mind?
I've got a big fireworks show ready for him. Better that than get snatched.
What? You're gonna blow yourself up? No, we're better off fighting together.
Hey, it won't work. I'm hit in the thigh. Ow, oh, damn. A bounty hunter can't do anything with a leg wound like this. I might as well have been shot in the head.
Well, there must be some way out of here.
Hey, I wasn't doing this job just for fun. I stayed ready for situations like this. I've always been prepared to go out with a bang.
It's December. A little late for fireworks.
So it'll be an off-season show.
No, I can't let you.
My belt's packed with TNT-PX. You know, that really strong stuff they use in the mines on Mars. One push, and this whole hospital will go. No trouble at all. No time to sit around thinking, Junker boy. Go! What are you doing? Get your butt moving, you fool! Get out through this air shaft. I've got a powerful strobe on me. Its flash will screw up their sensors long enough for you to get out. Now, you with me? Fireworks are better from a distance anyway, Gillian.
Are you two finished chatting? Then I think it's time for you to die. We're quite busy, you know.
You ready? When I give the signal, break into the air shaft and run, and don't forget your blaster. Metal, stay with me.
Yes, sir.
Random. Gillian. Doesn't look like I'm gonna have a chance to call in that debt you owe me.
Don't worry. I'll pay it back to the Snatchers with interest.
All right, go! Run, Gillian!
This is part of the tube liner, the city's long-abandoned subway system.
You mean Queen's Hospital and this were connected?
Yes, it would appear that the Snatchers were using this to move from place to place. This would provide them with the perfect way to move about while still avoiding the ultraviolet rays they hate so much. We should have realized this sooner. The city is crisscrossed by the tube liner's old lines, and since they are abandoned, the Snatchers could move undetected as well.
Aha! That's how those two we caught a glimpse of at the abandoned factory where Gibson was killed were able to disappear so quickly. They must have used this subway.
That would appear to be correct. The tube liner passes underneath that factory site as well. That would also explain why sand from the factory was in the air duct at the hospital.
So this is the trick they were using to stay out of the sun and avoid being seen while they moved around.
Now we know why it took so long to uncover them.
All right, let's follow the subway. We should be able to get out when we get to the nearest station. Look, Metal, light!
Yes, but this doesn't look like a station.
There's a ladder.
Where do you suppose it leads, Gillian?
I don't have the slightest, but let's climb it and see.
All right, now climbing the ladder.
To Selinoyarsk.
We seem to have emerged into an odd place. Wait, this room.
Groznygrad,
It's
actually.
Freddie Nielsen's bathroom. He was using this shaft from the bathtub to get down into the subway. So that's how he did that.
All right, the map. Let's take a look at the map. It's a large-scale map of Moscow. Moscow, eh? Chichu over at Queen's Hospital had a picture of St. Basil's Cathedral. The chief keeps a picture of Red Square hidden. How come everybody is such a big Moscow fan these days? What's going on here? Chichuo.
Is he dead?
He's junk now. Stubborn one, wasn't he?
Jeez. He made it through that explosion and was waiting for us out here. If those things ever get control of the city, there's no way we'll ever get it back. We've got to stop them before that.
And to do that, we have to prevent the chief from getting to the Kyoto summit.
I know. And I have to pay back my debt to Random.
Let's use this taxi to get back to Junker headquarters.
I planned on it. I just hope Mika and Harry are safe.
No.
Mika! Mika, are you all right? Metal, how is she?
Her pulse is normal. The only external injuries are to her forehead, and they are not serious. There's been no significant blood loss.
Mika, come on, snap out of it. It's me, Gillian.
Gillian? Gillian.
Mika, what happened?
Gillian, the chief. The chief is a Snatcher.
So he's finally shown his true colors.
Harry's...
What's happened to Harry?
Harry put me in the pod and sealed the main door. He locked the Snatcher in.
That was smart. Not even a Snatcher can get through this shield.
So where's Harry?
He said keep the door sealed no matter what happens in there. And then he went in. Gillian, please help him.
Harry! Mika, open the door. I'm going in. Metal, we're going in. Be careful. That Snatcher could be hiding anywhere.
Yes, sir.
Gillian, please be careful. The chief is very cunning. Don't let your guard down.
Don't worry. I'll watch myself in there.
Oh my god. What's this? Someone is down. That hat. Harry?
Harry!
Oh, Gillian, is that you? I'm getting old. Just look at me.
What happened?
I saw the chief messing with your turbocycle. And that weird picture in his office.
Metal, how is he? Metal!
I do not wish to say.
Really that bad, huh?
Gillian, when I confronted him about what I saw, he showed me what he really was. I was barely able to even scratch him.
That's enough, Harry. I understand. Metal, is there anything we can do for him?
Gillian, I'm sorry.
Harry, you'll be okay. Doesn't look like you're hurting too bad. This'll work out perfect. You always were working too hard anyway. Why don't you take a nice long vacation somewhere and rest up?
Yeah, sure. Nice try, Gillian, but it's my body. I know I ain't gonna make it. You were a good kid, Gillian.
Harry!
I don't know how to say this right, but I've always had a special feeling about you. I've always had trouble talking to people since I was little, like my father. What I can remember of him.
Pulse and blood pressure falling.
Harry, hang in there. You and I were gonna go out and tie one on, remember?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. You, me, and Jean, the three of us.
But John is...
Metal, quiet!
Gillian, I've lived my life alone. I didn't know my parents or family. Always so stubborn, glued to my research. I never really trusted anybody. That was a mistake.
Blood pressure continuing to fall.
Harry?
After Jean died, I felt it. Human warmth, companionship.
I know what you mean.
Gillian, I just wanted to get along with everybody. I don't need no Nobel Prize. For 50 years I've been searching, trying to find something I lost. Looks like I'll never find it now.
Gillian, he's about...
Looks like I've been talking too much. It's up to you now, Gillian. I'm finished. You won't forget this, old grouch, will you?
Harry!
Gillian, you've got to believe in yourself. You're the last junker.
Harry! Harry!
Pulse 0. Pupils are dilated.
Cunningham! No! Snatcher! I'll get you for this!
We have no time for grieving. That Snatcher is still hiding somewhere here in headquarters.
Metal, listen to me. If that Snatcher gets me, you've got to take Mika and run. Then you've got to blow up Junker headquarters. Blow it sky high! You understand me?
Yes, sir. I just hope it doesn't come to that. So, where should we start our search?
Whew. Why don't we investigate the ceiling? Ugh. Cunningham. Oh, shit.
The lighting control system has been destroyed.
Wait, Mika's not in the pod. What happened?
The lighting has been disconnected.
Don't move, Seed.
Cunningham, is that you?
I read motion. He is definitely in here.
Where are you? Show yourself.
I'm right here.
I don't need to run or hide from you. Mika!
No, Gillian, don't move. It's a trap.
The Snatcher's functions have been terminated.
Mika, are you all right?
Yes. Yes, I think so. Thank you.
Harry? I got him. Random? Sorry it took so long, but this ought to make us even.
Junker? You may have stopped me, but it's not over yet.
Gillian, this is just residual energy feedback. Its power levels are dropping rapidly.
Crane's Hospital was nothing more than a maintenance facility. We have comrades operating throughout the city, more than you can imagine. Now our plans will move into Phase 2. For that, we will enlist the help of Professor Lorraine. Your existence is meaningless as long as you don't get your memory back. Good luck, Junker.
My memory? Comrades? Professor Lorraine?
Harry! Why? Please tell me. Why do so many good people have to die?
Mika!
This is all wrong.
Mika, don't worry. I won't let anybody else die. I've made a promise to Harry and Random. But the city is still full of Snatchers. This fight is just beginning.
And this is where the original Snatcher actually ended, if you can believe that. Yeah, it ended on a cliffhanger. Wait, there's actually still this
Gillian,
part.
I have an urgent video call from Jamie. I'll connect you.
Gillian, I've got my memory back. I remember everything.
Your memory? So what about us, Jamie? Who are we?
Gillian, it's terrible. What we've done.
Jamie, what's wrong?
I can't tell you something like this over the video phone. I would have been better off never remembering.
Okay, Jamie, calm down. I'll head out right now. Where are you? Is it snowing?
I'm sorry, Gillian. I can't tell you. They've taken our boy hostage.
Our boy? Who?
Professor Modner is here too.
Jamie, what are you talking about?
I'm so sorry.
Snatcher!
Gillian!
We have Professor Lorraine. We only require her cooperation for a short period here at the Kremlin. So for now, I suggest you avoid doing anything foolish, Professor Seed.
Okay. I think it's the end of the act. Yeah. And here we are
with the
with
start of this
Act
year's
3.
Kyoto Summit just 3 hours away. The delegates from the participating countries are beginning to arrive at the conference center.
Metal, the chief's dead. Tell me everything you know about me.
Well, you see...
Metal!
All right. With the chief gone, you are the highest-ranking officer here.
You knew all along?
Of course.
Where were we rescued from?
3 years ago, you and Jamie were taken into protective custody in the Siberian Neutral Zone by the 17th Siberian Investigative Force. More precisely, you were discovered in cryogenic sleep pods in an underground bunker near Moscow.
Cryogenic sleep pods? You mean they were frozen?
This is a photograph of the bunker. There is no record of when you were placed there. In addition, the third pod was empty at the time you were discovered.
There were 3 pods?
You were revived and taken into custody by the army. Apparently, as a result of the extended sleep, both of you suffered from complete amnesia. However, another theory suggests your memories may have been intentionally erased. This is the only piece of evidence found at the site.
What?
That's Harry's picture, from when he was a kid.
correct. Harry is Gillian and Jamie's son. It's been confirmed by DNA tests.
Harry? Harry was my son?
Using the information gained from the photo, it was established that you are Gillian Seed and your wife, Jamie Lorraine. Both of you are American citizens, born in the late 1960s.
The 1960s?
In addition, both of you vanished without a trace in 1989. There is no other information available about you after that.
So Moscow is their creator and their home, and the place that they found Jamie and I.
In other words, this homing instinct thing of theirs has led them to set up their headquarters in some place that reminds them of home.
Calculating. This is the spot. It's presently occupied by an old church. It's rather large, but reports indicate it's been abandoned for nearly 20 years.
Snow!
Snow 9, to be specific. We've entered the Snow 9 region. Please put on your breathing filter. Direct inhalation is dangerous.
All right.
Phantom pain.
Radio transmissions will also be impossible from this point on. Understood?
What is this, Castlevania? What's this? It would appear to be some kind of chapel for the Snatchers. Are you telling me those things pray? To whom? No doubt to their creator. That portrait on the wall is probably a representation of him. Look? Portrait? This person is no doubt the one the Snatchers worship as their creator. This guy, isn't that random?
Jamie, are you all right?
Gillian, you came for me.
Are you hurt?
No, they won't lay a finger on me. Not until the new artificial skin is completed anyway.
Artificial skin research? You?
Gillian, I've got my memory back. All of it.
What happened? Tell me, Jamie.
Don't you remember? It's Professor Modner. Professor Petrovich Modner.
What?
56 years ago, you and I were involved in a top-secret Soviet project. It was still during the time of the Cold War. The gulf between East and West was as wide as ever. Everybody was worried about nukes. At that point, the world's armies were at their largest ever. Leaders still believed that a strong military meant a strong nation. There were rumors that there would be an agreement to end the production of nuclear weapons. On the other hand, the major powers like the US began to get involved in a space weapons race. But not the Soviets. The conservative despots in the Kremlin had another, completely different idea for gaining military superiority. A horrible plan, something no one else would think of. At that time, the countries of the communist bloc were facing an economic crisis. Popular movements pushing for democracy were springing up all over. Communism itself was facing extinction. Facing pressure from the reformers, the Kremlin began to panic. And that's when that horrible, childish plan was launched.
And that was the Snatcher project. Replace your enemy's leaders with puppets of your own. Then you control their governments, their economies, take over a country from the inside out.
That's right, Gillian. And to develop these robots, they assembled some of the most brilliant scientific minds from around the world. Some of them were even brought in against their will. At the crux of that development effort was a group called the Frankenstein Project Team. You and I were members of that team, Gillian. It was a 4-person team led by the late Professor Modner here. The robotics expert was Professor Modner himself. His son, Elijah Modner, handled genetics and microbiology. For nanobiology and picobiology, myself. And for behavioral science and psychology, you, Gillian. Early development was carried out at a lab in Novosibirsk, but was later moved to a secret facility under the Kremlin. At the time, the Glasnost and Perestroika movements were gaining momentum, and they rightly feared for the existence of the program if it should become known. But some of the reformers did learn of the project, and they conspired with the US to block it. Gillian, you were a CIA special agent sent by the United States to infiltrate and sabotage the project.
I was CIA?
Yes, and the government knows that. That's why you were assigned to the Junker team.
What? Who am I?
Work on the project continued to go smoothly. But then, on June 6, 1996, there was that accident. A mysterious explosion at the Chernobyl facility spread a bacterial weapon that was under development there into the atmosphere, destroying the country and the project. Gillian, was it you? Did you set off that explosion?
What? You can't be serious. You think I caused the catastrophe?
Somehow, during the confusion, Professor Modner and our son Harry managed to get picked up by American agents. But we couldn't get out in time, you and I and Elijah. In a shelter below the Kremlin, we entered a cryogenic sleep. Our plan was to sleep there until the toxic effects of the bacteria were safely passed.
And then 48 years later, 3 years ago, we were discovered by the 17th Special Investigative Force.
Yes, but when they found us, Elijah's pod was already empty.
Elijah Modner? That guy whose picture was in the church? The one that looks like Random?
Why don't you let me finish your little story?
Random? No, not quite.
I am Elijah Modnar, the only son of Professor Petrovich Modnar. I'm afraid I've grown somewhat old and feeble since we last met, however.
Elijah, why are you doing this? Your father, Professor Modner, he passed away a few minutes ago.
What? My father? My father is dead? Jamie, it's you. Your beauty is the cause of all that has come to pass here. 57 years ago, I was obsessed. With my research, yes. And with you, Jamie. At the time, I was still young, having just graduated with my genetic engineering degree. My father's connections got me on the team, and there, I met you. You were working as my father's assistant. Your beauty, your smile, I was stricken. I saw something in you that I never felt with women of my own country. You warmed my cold, young heart, Jamie. You opened me up, and I couldn't stop my feelings.
Elijah!
Oh, I was so happy. The political situation was crumbling around us, but every day was a joy. I gained my father's trust, and with you there watching over me, I was able to work as hard as I ever have on the project. However, my happiness did not last for long. Gillian, it was you. You showed up and all was ruined. You arrived and joined our project team. Far from home, Jamie found comfort in a man from the same land. Your relationship grew quickly, and all I could do was stand by and watch. Jamie and Gillian fell in love, were joined, and even had a child.
Harry.
Even then, my feelings for you only grew stronger. Worried about me, my father tried to have me removed from the project, but I persisted. Jamie, I always wanted to be near you. And then, the democratic movements that had consumed the rest of the Eastern Bloc spread to our country as well. The Cold War was over. The hardliners who had pushed for its development were stripped of power and the project was cancelled. The reformers, trying to cover up the existence of such a crazed project, ordered that all materials related to it be destroyed and that we stand trial for our actions. Jamie and Gillian were to be returned to their homeland. That's It's about the time that I learned that you, Gillian, that you were a CIA agent, and that you were trying to pass documents on our research to your military. The country had sold us out. I'm no politician. I couldn't care less about what happened to the country. All I cared about was my research and Jamie. And I was to lose all of that, everything. For someone so young, you cannot understand how great of a shock that was.
Elijah.
That is when I decided, I swore I would see that secret crazed project through to the end. At the time, the bioroids were 80% finished. The main part, their endostructure, was essentially completed. But we still were having trouble with the artificial skin, the area that Jamie and I were assigned to. We called it artificial skin, but there was of course no need to duplicate T lymphocytes, Langerhans cells, or endocrine cells. All we needed was keratinized cells and melanocytes to provide the pigment. With the artificial protein development techniques that we had in those days, full-scale synthetic cell development was very difficult. Research like this took months, years. The original project called for us to simultaneously snatch an entire country. In other words, a whole nation, or an entire city, had to be snatched over the course of one night. For that reason, a powerful biological agent, which could quickly and effectively kill the population of the country, was being simultaneously developed.
Lucifer Alpha.
That's right. A type RAO11 virus which another team was developing. For someone like myself, who was closely involved in the project, blowing up the lab was quite a simple task.
My God, Elijah, do you know what you're saying? That explosion killed half the world's population.
I moved all the materials and records essential to the Bioroid project into the shelter and executed my plan on June 6th. After sealing off the lab, I brought the two of you with me to the underground shelter, and we entered a cryogenic sleep. But not before I programmed an atmospheric research satellite to transmit a wake signal when the danger from Lucifer Alpha had passed.
And 10 years later, Lucifer Alpha naturally mutated into a non-toxic form.
But the automatic revival system failed to work.
Oh no, it worked. Just as planned. It revived me 10 years later. A little sooner than the two of you, of course.
But even though you sealed the lab with the explosion and everything, you should have been exposed. Why weren't you?
Oh, I was. But by that time, the vaccine L-Angels had already been developed.
So everything went just as you planned it then?
Yes, up until that point. But my real struggle was yet to come. My original plan was to revive Jamie as well, and for the two of us to finish the development of the bioroids. You, Gillian, you were to stay asleep forever. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Not after looking at Jamie's peaceful face there in the pod. Besides, I could never have convinced her to work with me on the project anyway. I knew the time was not yet right, so I changed the timers of your pods to permanent on.
How could you do such a thing?
And so for the next 40 years, I worked alone in that cold and lonely room under the Kremlin, trying to complete the artificial skin for the Snatchers. For days and days, no one would visit me. I never saw the sun or felt the changing of the seasons. Still, I always had Jamie by my side. You were always there for me to talk to. Just you and I for 40 years in that dark cellar.
Oh, you poor, poor man.
And then, 3 years ago, my research was finally completed. First, I snatched the Siberian Special Investigative Forces to establish a transport route for the Snatchers. And then, to test the effect of large-scale snatch operations, I chose Neo Kobe City to be my experimental sample. Neokobe is cut off from the surrounding areas, a sort of miniature country in itself, making it a perfect test site. And since it's a melting pot of various races, it would also allow me to gather extensive data on Snatcher modification and operational techniques. In addition, the element of suspicion or mistrust, which runs deep in Japanese culture, was another reason I chose this site.
But your test revealed a critical flaw in your machine's artificial skin.
Yes, quite unexpected, I'm afraid. All my research for 40 years. I gathered data and worked day and night to find a solution, but nothing seemed to work.
So that's why you decided to bring Professor Modner here, right?
That's correct. I discovered my father in one of the government's hospitals. He was old, but still very sound of mind. Naturally, he would not cooperate with me.
Of course not. He'd never become involved in something like that.
So, unable to receive his assistance, I decided that I had to have yours. But a mistake on my part allowed both you and Gillian to be taken into custody by the authorities first.
Just what are you trying to accomplish, Elijah? You must know you can never get Jamie back.
I'm only interested in discovering what I can of the human animal. In the past, it was because of Jamie. My motive is different now.
It sounds like you're just suffering from the wild arrogance that corrupts so many scientists.
Humans are such weak creatures. No matter how much they trust one another, the tiniest speck of suspicion can destroy it all. Look at how the Snatcher problem has caused such wild unrest. No matter how much science advances or how high we set our ideals, we eventually begin to suspect each other, to hate each other, and then to kill each other. The Snatchers are nothing more than a tool for bringing out this reaction. I am simply using the Snatchers to elicit the true nature of the human animal. I think this experiment has shown me the limits of human society. I sincerely doubt it will be able to reach any greater level of prosperity on its own. If human society ever hopes to reach greater heights, what is needed is an absolute leader, a firm ruler who isn't affected by these trivial episodes of mistrust.
You're crazy if you think people would ever obey Snatchers.
Of course they wouldn't. But if they don't know, they cannot object. There has been a time in every age that the people have longed for a god to lead them. As long as they give the people no reason to suspect them, then they can easily become their gods, indeed, a new race of super beings. We are almost there. Once we perfect the artificial skin, Snatchers will transcend man to become this planet's true human beings.
But you'll never get your perfect skin now. Professor Modner is dead.
I no longer have any use for my father. I have a sample of the new skin he developed. Once I've analyzed it, I'll be able to make as much as I need. Or if need be, we could simply culture the keratinized cells, epithelial cells, and melanocytes in the quantities that we need.
What are you talking about? How could you get a sample of perfected artificial skin?
Why don't you take a look at this? We found this in the rubble of Queen's Hospital.
Random!
Oh, an acquaintance of yours?
He's a Snatcher?
That term isn't exactly accurate. This bioroid was constructed by my father without my knowledge. He modeled it after me in my youth. He built it right here in this facility. And not only that, he programmed it to destroy Snatchers. This bioroid caused me serious difficulties. It's designed and built far better than my Snatchers. The machine itself thought it was human. My father input memories for it all the way back to childhood. Those, too, were apparently mine. Haven't you yet realized? Random Hajil is Elijah Modner spelled backwards. How like my father, silly old man. He did virtually overnight what I could not do in 40 years of effort. Furthermore, he makes a bioroid so perfect, even the bioroid itself believes itself to be real. What's more, the cells of the skin he developed are self-replicating. Once in place, no further transplants or culturing is necessary.
Is he dead?
Its main and locomotive systems are completely shut down. It's just scrap now. But the artificial skin is being kept alive. This we need. With this, we can move to phase 2 of our plan of full-scale infiltration of the world's major nations.
The summit's already over. You'll never succeed.
What does the summit matter? Nothing holds us back now that we have this perfect skin. We can go anywhere we want, and there will be no way to tell us apart. I will have free control over the world. Nothing will be able to stop me. Politics and free thought will no longer have any meaning. My will alone will decide the course of human history.
You egomaniac. Do you think you can snatch the entire population?
There's a fully automated Snatcher factory under the Kremlin. Even as we speak, scores of new Snatchers are being born.
But no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to snatch the people's heart and soul. What do you hope to gain from this anyway?
Jamie, the human race is composed of fools. But I'm different. I will be its savior. Indeed, not just of mankind, but of all life on the planet.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Metal!
In 10 minutes, this church will be struck by a phased particle beam. I am guiding the beam from the attack satellite using GPS and 15 navigational satellites. The beam cannot miss. Everything in a 2 to 3 kilometer radius from me will be destroyed.
Stop this foolishness now.
What? How did... You're supposed to be deactivated.
I don't go down that easy, old man.
Stop this foolish...
Shut up! Let's try to make our final moments peaceful, shall we? And you Snatchers, you touch the little guy and the old man's head comes off.
Random!
I've always hated being used. Why don't you watch the final act with me?
Let me go. I'm Elijah Modner. I'm your original.
I don't care if I'm an original or a copy or what. You and I are gonna die right here. If we both die, there won't be a copy anymore now, will there?
The stupid logic of a simpleton, of a machine.
Whatever it is, it's my will!
Machines have no will. Machines cannot sacrifice themselves.
We'll see about that.
You have 4 minutes. You must go. And don't forget to take care of the factory under the Kremlin.
Stop!
Gillian, even if these memories in my head are fiction...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Our memories of our time together are all too real, Random.
Gillian, you become one hell of a junker.
Gillian, it has been most recreational being your partner.
Oh, Metal!
If you can, try to pick up the pieces for me, okay? Like we did for Little John?
Little John? Oh! Okay, Metal.
Hurry! You only have 3 minutes!
Thanks! Thanks, you two! Jamie, come on!
No! Don't let her go! No!
You pathetic old fool! You don't even know how to love someone!
You stupid machine! What is that idiotic grin supposed to mean?
By snatching you, I'm finally gonna get my real self back!
Random, there's less than 1 minute to go. Thanks to you, everything will be fine.
You don't owe me any thanks. Sorry to get you involved in such a big job. You did great. You're a hell of a junker. here, kid!
Fifth Airborne Division has completed boarding. 7th Mechanized Infantry Team has completed boarding. 17th Special Engineering Squad report for boarding immediately.
So you're really going, aren't you?
It's our responsibility, too. Besides, if I go to Moscow, I may get some of my memory back. And if that happens, I'll be able to love you even more than I do now. Wait for me. I want to be with you, but first I've got to destroy this terrible factory of theirs. Jamie, when I get back, let's try living together again. What do you say?
13th Special Operations Squad and all Junker personnel report immediately for departure.
We'll be waiting for you, too.
Katrina! Mika! You're here, too?
You better be happy, Buster, with all these beautiful women seeing you off.
I'm happy you came. Let me introduce my wife.
Jamie Seed. I suppose it's a little odd introducing myself a second time, though.
What do you mean? You've never met them before, have you?
What are you talking about, Gillian? We're good friends.
Uh-huh? Since when?
It's the first time I've met her in person, but I've spoken with her on the video phone a lot of times.
What? Have you guys been talking about me behind my back?
Whatever you do, just come home safe, okay?
When you get back from this job, you still have a dinner date to keep with me, you know.
Don't worry. I won't forget my promises to either of you. Oops, almost forgot. Of course, I'll want to spend some private moments with my wife, too, huh? What's wrong, Jamie?
Harry and I will be waiting for you to get home.
That's Harry's hat.
We can do it this time, Gillian. Not some fake couple like before, but with love and trust.
I know, Jamie.
Take care, Gillian.
I'll see you, Jamie.
Wait! Wait for me! Take me with you, please!
You? Metal?
Yes, sir! We didn't have a good frame to work with, so this is just a temporary body. Just call me Metal Gear, Sega CD for now.
So, they found your memory chip in one piece, eh?
Random protected it from the blast of the beam.
Random, huh? Wait a second. I've heard that sneeze somewhere before.
Really? I didn't hear anything. Anyway, I want to know if you'll take me with you. Please, Gillian, please take me with you.
Hurry up and get on board, partner.
Yes, sir, Gillian.
Throughout history, suspicion has always bred conflict. The real conflict, though, resides in people's hearts. This conflict has just begun.
And that is Snatcher. I hope you guys enjoyed playing with me. Yeah, it's a phenomenal game. I played it a couple of times before now, but it's my first time recording the entire thing and commenting on it and everything. I hope I did an alright job for my first sort of Let's Play. And yeah, I hope you guys will join us for Police Stunts, which we're also going to do. Oh, look at that. Akira Yamaoka. Wow. I had no idea Akira Yamaoka worked on this game. He's from Silent Hill. Until next time, boss.